Hey guys, thank you for stopping by to my channel. My name is Vance. In our last tutorial, I showed you how to cut this gown. While in this tutorial, I'll be sharing with you the sewing part of it. This was the one I made. It's so beautiful. So if you want to learn this beautiful gown in an easy way, stick to the end of this tutorial so that you will learn one or two things. You add more knowledge to what you already know. So guys, I've gone ahead to put my paper stay to my main fabric and my lining piece for the back. I've also done the same thing for the front. I've put my paper stay on the lining and the main fabric. So guys, this is the gather part. I've gone ahead to draw my gather and to hem the tip of my gather, and I've ironed. This is the part that I'm going to ruche, guys. I've gone ahead to sew down my elastic casing. This is where my elastic is going to pass through. I've also gone ahead, guys, to hem the middle part of our ruched, and I've gone ahead again to draw the gather. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the front block. That's the down part of our gown. So when I'm done attaching it, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So I did the attachment off the camera. So this was it when I attached it. It's quite easy to attach your ruche part to the other part of your dress. So this is the lining part, guys. I've gone ahead to place the lining right side facing right side. So at the middle part of the lining and the main fabric, I pinned it down. I also go ahead and pin this side front of our gown, that's of the upper part of our backs. I'll pin it down. It's very important that you pin down all the parts so you won't have to make any mistake. So if you do not have a pin, as a designer, it's very important that you learn how to pin down your dresses so it will be more excellent. So when I'm done pinning down, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to go ahead and sew it 1/2 inch at this point, and then I'll show you how it looks like. So for my back block, guys, I'm going to separate it. I'll place the front block and the lining piece together, right side facing right sides. So this was me placing my lining on the main fabric, right side facing right side. I'll go ahead and sew it down by 1/2 inch. So I'll start from the shoulder line first, and then the sides, and then the zip part. I'll sew it down by 1/2 inch. When I'm done, I'll show you how it looks like. I'll do the same thing too for the other parts. I'll place my lining piece on the main fabric, right side facing right side, as I did for the other one. I'm going to sew it down by 1/2 inch on all the sides, aside the armhole and the down part. So when I'm done sewing, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done sewing the front part, guys. I'll go ahead and turn it out and show you how it is. So I have notched. Make sure you notch too. So this was me turning it on to the right side. I've not ironed yet. You can see how it looks. It looks so fine. Yeah, so we are on the right track. So when I'm done with this, I'm also going to show you the back part of it, how the back part looks. So this is the back part. That's our back block. I've notched too, so you should notch yours too. So I've gone ahead to sew it. I'll also go ahead and turn. When I'm done turning, guys, I'll show you how it looks. So I've gone ahead to turn it out all, and I'll go ahead and iron. So this was when I was done ironing, guys. As you can see, it's looking so neat and fine. So what I'm going to do next, this is it. Everything is looking very well. If you've not watched the drafting part of it, you should go and watch. So I'll go ahead and sew down my zip part just like this. And when I'm done sewing, guys, I'll show you how it looks. So for my front part, guys, I've gone ahead to iron it. See how clean it is. See how clean it is. So I've gone ahead to iron, and then I'll attach the rope, but not yet. I'll attach it from the armhole part. So when you're attaching your rope, make sure you attach from the armhole part. But I will not do this right now. I'll do it when I'm done with my gather, with joining of everything before I attach my rope. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew down my zip allowance. I had to use my chalk to give me a guideline. So at this dart part, guys, that's where this part I notch is where I'm going to impute my dart. So for our off shoulder, I use 6.5 for the off shoulder. So for me to get the waistline of my client, her waistline is 16 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark the 16 inches there so I can create my dart. So her nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2 is 4. I'll go ahead and mark the 4 inches at the waistline, and then I'll also go ahead, I'll connect to the dart that I notched. That notched part is the dart. I will also impute the nipple to nipple at this point, which is 4, and I'll connect the points together. So at the waistline, I'll go in by 1/2 inch on both sides, and I'll go ahead and connect it to the full length of the backs, just the way you see me doing. So this is me connecting to the points to get my dart. I'll go ahead and use my ruler because my free hand is not really making the lines to be straight. So when I'm done with this part, I'll do the same thing for the other part of our back block. So I'll go ahead and minus my 6.5. I'll mark the waistline 16 inches. I will extend the lines first. So I'm going to extend the lines. I will impute my client nipple to nipple 4. And I'll also do the same thing. I'll impute her nipple to nipple at the upper part. And then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to connect the points straight to the full length and then to the upper part, just like this. When I'm done, guys, I'll go ahead and take the dart 1/2 inch on both sides. I'll mark it down and I'll connect them together to the full length, just like this. And then I'll also connect it from the upper part down to the waistline, and then from the waistline on then to the upper part. So you should do yours like this too. So when I'm done, guys, I'll go ahead and sew the darts together. So are you seeing? This is how I'm going to sew the dart from the upper part to the waistline and then to the full length. I'll sew it down and I'll show you how it looks like. So guys, this was it when I was done sewing it. As you can see, I've also gone ahead to iron. See the darts is looking fine. So what I'm going to do next is to introduce my front block. So okay, before I introduce my front block, I'll go ahead and take my shape. So first I'm going to divide her bust by 4. I'll mark it and then I'll divide her upper waist. You know, everybody has an upper waist. I'll divide it by 4, and then I'm also going to go ahead and divide her lower waist because this bag started from her lower waist. I'll divide it by 4 and I'll mark whatever I have there, and then I'll connect the points together just the way you see me doing. I'll do the same thing for the other side. Her bust divided by 4. I'll mark it. Her upper waist divided by 4. I'll mark it. And then her lower waist, where the backs will sit perfectly with her lower waist. I don't know if you understand. In this type of style, we have upper waists and lower waists. It's the lower waist that the darts, that's the backs, the gather is going to sit very well. So when I was done with this, I'll introduce the front part. So I'll go ahead and shape. So before I shape, I'll go ahead and use my pins to hold the front and the back together so I can be comfortable, or more or less it will be easier for me to shape. So I love using my pins because it makes my work much easier. So I've gone ahead to pin down. I'll go ahead and shape it following the lines that I made. So when I'm done, guys, I'll show you how it looks like. So this was it when I was done shaping, guys. As you can see, it's looking so fine. I've also gone ahead to iron it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up my zip allowance. So this is my zip. I'll go ahead and open it up just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done opening it, guys, I'll go ahead and introduce my gather. So you should do the same thing. Open up your zip allowance and then introduce your gather. So at the tip of my gather, I'll place it at the tip of my backs, right side facing right side. I'll go ahead and pin it down. I will arrange it very well before I sew it down. So this gather thing can be very tricky if you do not know how to work with it. Make sure you arrange your gathers properly before you go to sew, so that one side of the gather will not be fuller than the other part of the gather. Pinning down will help you to arrange it properly before sewing down. So I'll also go ahead and pin down the other extreme, and I'll also go ahead and pin down the middle part of the backs and the middle part of the gather. So when I'm done arranging them, the middle part facing the middle part of my gather and of my backs, I'll go ahead and pin down, and I'll sew it and show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. I've not ironed it yet, but it looks so good. As you can see, the gather is even. This one part is not fuller than the other part, so that's what you should do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to attach my zip. So as you can see, everything is looking so good. The gather is even, everything is looking good, and so your own should also look good. So before my zip, I'm still trying to arrange it well to show you how good it looks. And then I will now introduce my zip, guys. So this is my zip. I'm going to follow the lines that I made initially, that I sewed down initially. That's what I'm going to use to attach my zip. So I'll attach my zip and I'll show you how it looks like. So this was it when I was done attaching my zip, guys. Oh, I'm loving this gown already. I'm so happy that everything is going well. The gown is coming out so well. So what I'm going to do when I'm done is I'm going to go ahead and pass my rope through the casing that I made at the ruche part. So this is my safety pin. I've passed it through the rope, and then I'm going to pass the rope through the armhole. So you should do the same thing. Pass your rope through the armhole casing that I made. So this is it when I was attaching it. I'm going to thing for the other side of our ruche. This place is quite tough, so I'm really being careful so that the head of the safety pin will not pull out. So I'm actually being very careful. So finally the rope has passed through the casing. I'm going to ruche it out. Then at this point I'm going to use my pin. I'm going to pin down the armhole parts of the rope. So this is it. I pinned it down. I'll do the same thing for the other part. I'll remove my safety pin, and then I'll pass the safety pin from the rope parts. So this is it. Through my armhole, I pass the rope through the casing that I made, the rope casing. So this is it. Hope you understand, guys. At this point, please do well to subscribe to my channel, like, share, leave a question or comment in the comment section. If you have any question that you need to ask me, if you do not understand, you can actually go back and watch the video. This is actually a simple tutorial if you follow it step by step. So this is the sleeve part. For the length of my sleeve, I'll be making use of 25 inches. For the width of my sleeve, I'll be making use of 14 inches. So this sleeve is not in one piece. That's the fabric is not in one piece. I'll have to join them to make it a piece. I don't know if you understand. At the center front of the sleeve, I'm going to join. I'll be joining it by 1/2 inch. So I marked out the 1/2 inch there. Are you seeing? I have to join the center front of the sleeve. So for my sleeve width, I'll be making use of 14 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark it all through the length of the sleeve. So when I'm done marking it, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll cut out the parts that I do not want, all through to the tip of the sleeve. So when I'm done, I'm going to separate my sleeves. After I was done cutting the down part, I'll separate my sleeves and then I'll go ahead and pin. So I'm separating my sleeves now. As you can see, I'll go ahead and pin it down so I can be able to sew down that 1/2 inch to make it one piece sleeve. So I'll go ahead and sew it down by 1/2 inch. I'll show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done sewing it, guys. So this is it. I've sewn it and I've also gone ahead to iron. I'm going to bring in the other sleeve so that we can cut out the armhole. So guys, I'm arranging it properly so that I'm going to introduce my gown to it. So this is the gown of it. Are you seeing? This is the gown. So I'm going to use the armhole of this gown to trace out the armhole of the sleeve. You should do the same thing for yours too. At this point, it's not so visible, so I'm going to position my camera in a way that you can all see and understand. So this is it, what I was saying. This is the armhole of the gown. So what I'm going to do is this part I'm folding right now is the part that my elastic is going to pass through. So this is my elastic casing. I'll go and sew the elastic casing. But before I do that, I'll first come down by 2 inches. The 2 inches is for my elastic casing. So it's from that 2 inches now. Please listen carefully. It's from that 2 inches now that I will now place my gown on it like this. The armhole of the gown, the tip of the armhole of the gown is touching the 2 inches that I came down by. Are you seeing? Are you seeing? So I will now go ahead and cut out the armhole. From that 2 inches, I'll cut it straight down. Are you seeing? So that is where our sleeve armhole is now going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and reshape the armhole so that it's going to fit into my sleeve perfectly. So I'm trimming out the excess at the tip of our sleeve and then I'll go ahead and reshape. So are you seeing? I'm reshaping the armhole side so it will fit the armhole of my gown. So I'll also go ahead and hem the under of our sleeve. That's the tip of our sleeve. I'm going to hem it so the elastic will pass through it. I'm going to create an elastic casing. I'll also do the same thing for the other part. That's the upper part. I'll also create an elastic casing. I'll set it aside and I'll show you how it looks like. So I have gone ahead to sew down the elastic casing. As you can see, I have sewn it down, both the upper part and the down part. So the next thing I'm going to do is I will bring in my elastic. So this is it, guys. The sleeve is almost ready. So for the length of the elastic, I'll be using 10 inches. This 10 inches is going to be the one for the upper sleeve. So I'll be using 10 inches elastic for the upper part of our sleeve. While for the down part, I'll be making use of 7.25 for the down part of the elastic. Why? Because my client's round sleeve for her wrist is 8 inches. So I had to minus 0.75 from the 8 inches, making it making it 7.25. I don't know if you understand. For the lower part, I use 7.25 because my client round sleeve is 8 inches. So I've gone ahead to pass my 10 inches elastic to the upper part of my sleeve. I've gone ahead to pin it down. Then for the lower part, I'm attaching my 7.25 elastic at the lower part of my sleeve. I don't know if you understand. So when I'm done passing it, guys, I will do the same thing for the other part. After I was done with this, I'll go ahead and attach my sleeve to my gown. I actually did the attaching of the sleeve to the gown off the camera because I did not want this tutorial to be too long. It's actually easy to attach it. Attach the sleeve to the gown. So when I'm done, guys, this is the gown. When I was done attaching my sleeve, our gown is so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you guys for watching my video to the end. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, like, share, leave a comment in the comment section if you do have a question that you want to ask me. Thank you guys. Love you and bye.